Well, hello, and welcome to my new YouTube channel. My name's Alex Bryanson, and I'm going to be doing this under the name of the Gayne Austen experience, trying to give you some sense of my travels through the world as a wannabe and aspiring author. Uh, I used to be an academic, and now I'm trying to explore the world with a different kind of writing. And my basic project is to queer the Austen canon novel by novel, see if I get there. And at the time of recording this, my first step on that journey, my reinterpretation of Pride and Prejudice, which I've called Property and Propriety, is about to be released. At the time of recording, it's about 10 days into the future that the book will drop, and I'm very proud of it. It's taken 10 years to get to this point, from starting the first draft of the book to actually getting out to be published. And that fact actually tells you a little bit about why I'm doing this channel as well as this project. Because what I found trying to break into the publishing world is that there are lots of structural barriers, as well as the fact that not everybody will like what I do. And some of those structural barriers are experienced by pretty much everybody who tries to break into publishing. Some of them are specific to me as a person, and some of them are specific to a few groups that I'm part of in terms of my identity, if you like. So, a little bit about me. I am, as you can see, a white guy. You can probably see a gay middle-aged white guy in front of you. And I'm also autistic, and I live with chronic illness, particularly something called chronic fatigue syndrome, otherwise known as ME. And of course, being somebody with chronic illness has a big impact on your life. I was re-diagnosed with CFS, having first had it in my 20s, whilst I was living up in the Wirral, which is in the northwest of England, in 2018. So now nearly 7 years ago. And it was the same year that I was also diagnosed as an autistic person. So part of my last few years has been getting used to what those two things actually and practically mean in terms of the impact on my daily life. And it's a big part of why this book has taken 10 years to get published, because it simply has had a huge impact on my capacity to write. But something else I've also figured out and experienced whilst trying to get my book published once it was finished is that, of course, it's had an impact on my stamina and staying power. Nobody, unless they're incredibly lucky or a celebrity, breaks into this industry without a huge amount of both effort and time. And I'll be honest, with my first book that's never actually seen the light of day, and with my second book, which will actually be coming out, I reckon I applied to about 200 agents and authors agents and publishers, that is, before I actually found a publisher that really wanted to take my book on. And so it's a deep thanks to everybody at Spectrum Books for having taken that chance on me. And that segues a little bit into a few things that you might want to know about me. I am, like I said, a former academic. My area was probably principally in the politics of the European Union and European integration. And I gave that up in 2015, largely for health reasons. I am a complete abaholic, and so that will get sprinkled into much of my writing, as you can imagine. Kylie Minogue also, who said that I wasn't a cliche. I never said I wasn't a cliche. And also, I am a dog dad to an elderly lurcher cross called Max. He will probably feature now and then. And I am, in a very Austen-esque phrase, engaged to be married to a wonderful man called Chris Butler. And he'll doubtly be featuring at some point on here as well. And I have to give a hat tip because he's actually the one who made this possible. Part of my autism is that, unlike a lot of autistic people, I have absolutely no technological gifts whatsoever. It drives me incredibly crazy and I hate it.
Right, that's now recording. So if I move out the way as such, and then you can start whenever you're ready.
Thankfully, Chris is much better at this stuff, and so thank you very much, beloved, for making this possible. And if you enjoy my channel, perhaps you can thank him too. And if you don't like my channel, then perhaps you can blame him, because it's obviously all his fault. So I called my channel the same as my Substack, the Gayne Austen experience. And why is that? That's the last thing I'm going to talk about on this particular post. And that comes in two parts. I mean, the name Gayne Austen is pretty straightforward, I would have thought. It's trying to reimagine the Austen books, certainly the canonical six, and possibly some of the juvenilia and the unfinished works at the end of her life, if I manage to get that far. And it's just a wordplay, obviously. But the second part is about experience, and that is about trying to say what has been unique to me or characteristic of my transition into being as much of an author as I can make it. So some of that is to talk about my process of writing. Some of it is to talk about my inspirations, notably, of course, my life as a Janeite. My devotion to Jane Austen is a very long one. It started in my teens when I did English literature for A level and absolutely fell in love with her when I read Emma, which was one of the set texts. Still one of my favourites, of course. Uh, and the other part of the experience is a more practical one about what it's like to try and make it as a writer, uh, what it's like to deal with things like rejection, what it's like to deal with structural problems like the fact that I am what you might optimistically call middle aged, and the differences that makes to how easy and otherwise it is to actually make it and get somebody to buy into your work and support it. I guess the final part of that, of course, is about my neurodivergence. And again, how that makes me see the world, how it makes me write about it, and also maybe how it makes me or enables me to see things in perhaps a different way. So along the way, if you stick around and come back to see some of my other videos, I hope that you'll enjoy uh, finding out about how I'm doing in terms of my progress on this path. And also, I hope that we'll be able to engage a bit about what other people's experience has been. And I very much hope to find you engaging. That would be wonderful. And obviously, I'm happy to make it a two-way process. Okay, I think that's where I'm going to leave it for my first post, except to say if, and I have to say, like me, you prefer exploring things in writing rather than in a kind of video form like this, then there's also my blog on Substack, which is also called the Gayne Austen Experience. And I try to blog every week about some aspect of my writerly path. So thank you for watching. I hope you'll come back and yeah. Let's see how far YouTube can take us. Thank you. Darling, I don't know how to turn off.